Assalamu alaikum students. You are watching the channel Educo. And today the topic about our lecture is the concept and history of rhetoric. It deals with sociolinguistics, and the area is about language, power and identity. We are here going to understand the interrelationship of language, power, and identity, that how language is used as a tool of power and also as a tool of identity, which we often call the mark of identity. So let us start. Understanding rhetoric. First of all, it is imperative to understand the basic concept of rhetoric. What is it? The object of oratory alone is not truth, but persuasion. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. It is said about by Lord Macaulay that oratory, the art of speech making, is not about describing any facts and figures, verified data, or about the truths that relates to our society, our life, our creation, or about the social problems and issues in the society in which we are living. But it aims to persuasion and convincing. The speaker aims to persuade or convince his listeners about his ideas, opinions, or what he intends to say to his listeners. So, when how this task of persuasion can be completed or can be fulfilled, it is in the way that the speaker's speech must be short, not it must not include extra, unnecessary, unimportant, or irrelevant details. And comprehending much in few words, it means that it should be concise and to the point. Anytime a person tries to inform, persuade, or argue with someone, he is engaging in rhetoric. In daily life, what uh, the two individuals or the people making conversation and making exchange of information in the form of dialogue, the whatever the purpose behind that, they are indulging in some kind of rhetoric, that is, they intend to convince each other or being convinced by each other. Rhetoric governs the effective use of verbal and nonverbal communication designed to influence an audience. Rhetoric can be defined as the art of speaking well, or of speaking effectively with the aim of persuading. So, how to speak well, and how to speak effectively in order to make the effect on your listener, so that he may be able to convince and persuaded by your arguments or by your way of talking or speaking. So it deals with the use of the language, and when we talk about the use of language, it is about his communication skills, either in verbal or non-verbal uh, form. Rhetoric is at once technical, practical, pedagogical, and analytical. It deals with opinions rather than truths and certitudes. It is already established. So, rhetoric, when we call it an art, mm, or a skill, it constitutes in itself the aspects or properties of technicality, practicality, pedagogical aspects, and analytical mode. Defining rhetoric. Rhetoric is the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing, especially the exploitation of figures of speech and other compositions. So, all these are definitions of the rhetoric and the art of rhetoric delivered by different scholars in different words. So, first definition reveals that the language is made persuasive or convincing by the use of figures of speech. Yeah. So, according to Aristotle, rhetoric is the ability in a particular case to identify the available means of persuasion. Uh, and according to Cicero, rhetoric is one great art comprised of five lesser arts: inventio, dispositio, eloquatio, memoria, and pronunciatio. So all these five elements are about the characteristics of language the production, understanding, the art of delivery, and the pronunciation or communication skills in about which we are going to discuss in detail in the coming pages. Language designed to have a persuasive or impressive effect, but which is often regarded as lacking in sincerity or meaningful contact.